You might think power isn't your thing. You're not trying to control others. You just want to live honestly, work hard, and treat people well. But here's the truth. Power is everywhere. It moves silently in office meetings. It shows up in friendships, where influence is exchanged like invisible currency. It even hides behind family dinners, in the way people speak, decide, and hold authority without saying a word. You don't have to be a manipulator to play the game, but if you don't understand the game, you'll be played. Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power isn't about becoming a villain. It doesn't ask you to lie, cheat, or backstab. It simply reveals what's already happening, the strategies, behaviors, and silent rules that shape relationships, careers, and reputations. It's a survival guide, a map through the jungle of ambition, egos, and unspoken battles that most people pretend don't exist until it's too late. This book shows you the moves behind the mask, why some rise while others fade, why charm often wins over talent, why silence can be louder than words, and how mastering perception can protect you from betrayal, or worse, irrelevance. Whether you want to protect yourself, navigate complex environments, or simply understand why people do what they do, this book gives you the language of power. Not to abuse it, but to recognize it, defend against it, and when necessary, wield it wisely. So before we dive into all 48 laws, take a moment and subscribe to Audiobook Bites. Because here, we don't just summarize books, we extract the truths that help you grow sharper, wiser, and unshakably grounded, one page at a time. Let's dive into all 48 laws, not as rigid rules to follow blindly, but as tools to understand the game you're already in. 1. Never outshine the master. Power is a delicate balance, and at the top, egos are fragile. The first law of power warns against the danger of outshining those in authority. To make your superior feel secure, you must manage their perception of you. Even if your skills surpass theirs, never allow that superiority to show too brightly. Praise their wisdom, defer to their guidance, and let them bask in the light, while you quietly learn, grow, and expand your influence from behind the curtain. The goal is not to appear incompetent, but to be competent in a way that reassures rather than threatens. When your master feels safe, you are safe. 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Friendship is often based on emotion, not calculation. Friends may betray you out of envy or over-familiarity. Enemies, on the other hand, are more likely to deal with you from a basis of respect and clear interest. Once common interests are aligned, enemies can be more reliable than friends. An enemy turned ally is often more loyal, as they have something to prove. The wise ruler does not let emotions cloud judgment. Value people not for their past, but for their potential role in your strategy. 3. Conceal your intentions. Transparency is not always a virtue. When you reveal your plans too early, you expose them to attack. People around you may try to sabotage, imitate, or block your next move. Concealment creates mystery and unpredictability. If your motives are not clear, opponents cannot prepare a counter-strategy. In politics, business, and personal life, the person who maintains ambiguity has the upper hand. To master this law, cultivate an air of honesty in all you say, while reserving your deeper motives for yourself. 4. Always say less than necessary. Words are powerful, and using too many of them diminishes their strength. When you speak too much, you reveal more than you intend, weaken your position, and invite scrutiny. Silence, on the other hand, draws people in. It gives you an air of mystery, and makes others reveal more in an effort to fill the gap. In negotiations, in leadership, and in personal relationships, measured words give the impression of wisdom and control. Speak less and say more. 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Reputation is the cornerstone of power. It precedes you, shaping how people react before you even speak. A strong reputation can intimidate, open doors, and protect you from attack. But it is fragile. Once tarnished, it is hard to restore. Defend it fiercely. Avoid unnecessary controversy and act decisively when someone tries to damage your name. At the same time, strategically undermine the reputations of rivals, and their power will diminish. Build your name with care and guard it as you would a kingdom. 6th, court attention at all costs. Invisibility is a death sentence in the realm of power. To influence people and shape the world, you must be seen and remembered. Cultivate a presence that draws attention through bold actions, unique style, or provocative ideas. Blandness is your enemy. However, do not seek attention just for its own sake. Attach it to your message, your work, your cause. Visibility amplifies influence. The forgotten are quickly discarded. Those who shine are hard to ignore. 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. Time and energy are limited. The smart strategist understands that success often depends on the skills and labor of others. Delegate, outsource, and inspire others to contribute, while ensuring that you remain the face of the triumph. Take care not to be seen as lazy or exploitative. Be gracious and reward others enough to keep them loyal. But always ensure that the spotlight remains on you. In the end, history remembers names, not teams. 8. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. Control is power, and when you react instead of act, you cede control to others. The best position is one of strength, where others seek your approval, your decision, your resources. Draw them in with irresistible offers, opportunities, or dilemmas. Set the terms of engagement. Once they come to you, they enter your world, play by your rules, and lose the upper hand. This requires patience and planning, but it is the strategy of kings. 9. Win through your actions, never through argument. Arguments rarely change minds. When people are confronted, they dig in, become defensive, and resist persuasion. Words can be twisted, ignored, or misinterpreted. Actions, however, speak directly to the senses. They demonstrate power, competence, and decisiveness. Instead of trying to convince others with speeches or debates, let your results do the talking. Outperform the opposition, and you will silence them without saying a word. 10th, infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Emotions are contagious. Misery, bitterness, and chronic negativity will infect even the strongest mind. People who dwell in failure and misfortune often drag others down, not always deliberately, but inevitably. Stay away from them. Instead, surround yourself with those who are ambitious, disciplined, and positive. Success breeds success. Just as some environments poison your chances, others nourish them. Choose your company with the same care you choose your strategies. 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. To maintain your influence, ensure that others rely on you for their well-being, success, or survival. The moment they feel they can do without you is the moment you lose power. Dependence is the strongest foundation for loyalty, not love or gratitude. Create a situation in which you are indispensable, and you will retain control. 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. A single act of sincere honesty can cover a multitude of deceptions. People are naturally disarmed by acts of apparent kindness or vulnerability. When used sparingly and at calculated moments, honesty or generosity can open the door to trust. And once that door is open, influence becomes easier to exert. 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest. People are more likely to act when they see how it benefits them. When asking for assistance, don't rely on pity, loyalty, or altruism. Instead, show them how helping you serves their own goals, status, or financial interests. Frame every request in terms of what they stand to gain. 14th, pose as a friend, work as a spy. The most valuable source of power is information. Cultivate the art of silent observation and discreet questioning. Pretend to be friendly. Gain access to the private thoughts and habits of others, and use this knowledge to your advantage. The less you speak, the more you hear. 15. Crush your enemy. Totally partial, victory is dangerous. If an enemy is left standing, even weakened, they may recover and retaliate. To ensure lasting dominance, neutralize threats completely. Be ruthless in moments of decisive action. Mercy may earn you future pain. 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. Overexposure can dilute your perceived value. When you're too present, you become common. Withdraw from time to time, create mystery, allow people to feel your absence. Your scarcity makes your presence more desired and your value amplified. 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Predictability is the enemy of authority. When people know your next move, they can prepare for it. Keep them guessing. Be occasionally irrational, dramatic, or enigmatic. The fear of the unknown keeps others on their heels and gives you the upper hand. 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. Withdrawing from the world to feel safe can make you more vulnerable. You lose touch with key information and connections. Instead, stay engaged, observe power dynamics, and maintain access to allies and enemies alike. Isolation cuts off your influence. 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. Not everyone reacts the same way to offense or confrontation. Some are vindictive, others forgiving. Learn their temperament before provoking or challenging them. A seemingly weak individual may hold power in hidden ways. Tread carefully. 20. Do not commit to anyone. Independence is power. If you align too closely with a person, cause, or faction, you give up strategic flexibility. Keep others vying for your attention and remain free to shift your allegiance. When you are unattached, others court you. 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark, feign ignorance or simplicity. When you act less intelligent than you are, others lower their guard and reveal more. They may underestimate you, giving you room to maneuver and surprise. Play the fool to lure others into vulnerability. 22nd. Use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. When you're weaker or outnumbered, don't fight head-on. Surrender temporarily. Yielding gives you time to regroup and analyze your opponent. Often, surrender disarms aggression and gives you the chance to retaliate when the tables turn. 23rd. Concentrate your forces. Focus your energy and resources where they will have the greatest impact. Spreading yourself too thin weakens your efforts. Master one area, win one stronghold, and then expand. Strategic concentration brings decisive victories. 24. Play the perfect courtier. In any power structure, charm and subtlety are essential. Be graceful, flattering, and strategic with your words and behavior. The courtier thrives by avoiding direct confrontation, pleasing those above, and manipulating without force. 25th, recreate yourself. Power often lies in perception. Don't accept the identity others place upon you. Reinvent yourself as needed. Change roles, style, or voice. Stay fluid and evolve continuously. This keeps others unsure, curious, and on guard. 26. Keep your hands clean. Maintain an untarnished reputation. Let others do the dirty work while you preserve a noble image. When unpleasant tasks arise, use intermediaries or scapegoats. Distance yourself from controversy and guilt. 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. Humans crave purpose, guidance, and belief. Construct a vision or ideology that fills that void. Speak with conviction, provide structure, and make them feel chosen. When people believe in your vision, they will follow without question. 28. Enter action with boldness. Timidity breeds doubt. Hesitation reveals weakness. When you decide to act, do so boldly and with confidence. Boldness inspires fear and respect, and often secures support simply through momentum. 29th. Plan all the way to the end. Anticipate consequences, obstacles, and long-term outcomes before you act. Consider all potential reactions to your moves. This foresight protects you from surprises and positions you several steps ahead of your rivals. 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. Never show the sweat behind your success. Display your results as if they were natural, even easy. Conceal the hard work and practice behind them. Mystery adds allure, and perceived ease inspires awe. 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards. You deal power often lies not in force, but in manipulation. Rather than coercing people, create a scenario where the options you offer are all in your favor. It gives others the illusion of choice, while in reality, they are navigating a path you've already paved. This technique is subtle and effective. When people believe they have control, they are more compliant. You become the invisible hand guiding their decisions. 32nd. Play to people's fantasies. Reality is often harsh and uninspiring, but fantasy captivates and comforts. Those who tap into people's dreams and illusions can lead and influence far beyond reason or logic. Offer visions of a better world, a more glamorous life, or heroic adventures. If you merely reflect reality, you may be ignored. But if you dare to feed people's fantasies, they will follow you willingly. 33rd. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Everyone has a vulnerability, an emotional wound, a desire, or a secret fear. If you uncover it, you gain leverage. This law is about strategic empathy, observing, listening, and understanding people deeply. Once you discover what truly motivates or terrifies someone, you can influence their decisions and shape their behavior. Power is often hidden in these subtle insights. 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. If you carry yourself with confidence, dignity, and assurance, regardless of your actual status, people will believe in your worth. Appearances matter. Demand respect by the way you walk, speak, and present yourself. If you behave like you expect greatness, others will often rise to meet that expectation. You must train others how to treat you, and that begins with how you treat yourself. 35. Master the art of timing. Timing is everything. It can make the difference between success and disaster. Be patient, observe trends, wait for the right moment, and strike only when you're certain the odds favor you. Moving too soon or hesitating too long can sabotage your efforts. Timing also means recognizing when to stop. knowing when to let things unfold and when to take control. 36. Disdain. Things you cannot have desire creates vulnerability. When you long for what you can't have, you hand power over to others. The wise strategy is to display indifference. What you cannot attain, you must dismiss with grace. This posture of self-sufficiency is both empowering and disarming. It keeps you from appearing needy and reduces the power others have over you. 37. Create compelling spectacles. People are visual creatures, and grand, dramatic gestures captivate them far more than dull logic. Create spectacles that dazzle and distract. Use symbols, ceremonies, or public acts that imprint your presence in people's minds. Spectacle is a powerful vehicle for influence. It creates momentum, garners attention, and turns ordinary moments into unforgettable drama. 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. True power often lies in discretion. Be as radical or rebellious as you like in private, but in public, conform enough to blend in. Displaying too much originality or challenging social norms can provoke resistance. To influence the world, you must first navigate it skillfully. Mask your differences when necessary and unleash them when the time is right. 39th, stir up waters to catch fish. In times of chaos, people become unbalanced, confused, and emotional. This is an opportunity for those who remain calm. Stirring up conflict can distract your opponents, provoke mistakes, and give you an advantage. But do so strategically, never for amusement. In the chaos you create, you become the calm and calculating force that seizes control. 40. Despise the free lunch. Nothing of true value comes without cost. Free offerings often hide strings, diminish perceived value, or make you vulnerable to obligation. Always pay your way and be wary of gifts that seem too generous. Self-reliance and generosity on your own terms bring more respect than dependency. Remember, what is freely given is often undervalued, or later comes with a price. 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. Following a legendary predecessor is a risky path. Expectations are high, and comparisons inevitable. Instead of trying to fill another's shoes, create your own identity. Blaze a new trail. Establish a distinct voice or vision. Only by stepping away from a predecessor's shadow can you build your own legacy. 42nd, strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. In any group, there is usually a central figure who holds the influence. If you want to dismantle a group's power or control, target its leader. Once the leader is weakened or removed, the rest of the group often falls into disarray. Identify power centers and neutralize them, quietly or overtly. 43rd, work on the hearts and minds of others. Influence is more lasting and potent when rooted in emotional resonance. To win support, touch hearts before minds. Understand people's dreams, fears, and desires. Build genuine rapport. People may forget logic, but they never forget how you made them feel. The most loyal followers are not led by intellect alone, but by emotional connection. 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. Reflecting people's behavior back at them is both disarming and confusing. They see their own flaws, habits, or aggression mirrored, making them feel exposed. This tactic can neutralize hostility and shift power dynamics. It also subtly asserts dominance without direct confrontation. 45th, preach the need for change, but never reform. Too much at once, people crave progress, yet fear disruption. When introducing change, do so in stages. Present it as a return to something familiar, even if it's entirely new. Sudden, sweeping reforms trigger resistance. while incremental change feels safer and more manageable. Blend innovation with tradition to minimize backlash. 46. Never appear too perfect. Perfection is threatening. It breeds envy, resentment, and sabotage. If you seem flawless, others will look for cracks to bring you down. Appear human, make small mistakes, or show modesty. Let others feel superior in small ways. This lowers their defenses and makes them more accepting of your success. 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. Knowing when to stop is a rare and valuable form of wisdom. When you achieve your goal, resist the urge to push further. Overreaching often leads to downfall. Power is maintained not just by winning, but by knowing when enough is enough. A graceful retreat often secures more than reckless ambition. 48. Assume formlessness. Rigidity is vulnerability. In power, adaptability is strength. The more structured and predictable you are, the easier it is for others to attack or anticipate you. Like water, be formless, able to shift, evolve, and respond to changing conditions. This keeps you elusive, flexible, and ultimately invincible. Conclusion: to understand power is to understand people. The 48 Laws of Power isn't a warm or gentle book. It's sharp, unfiltered, and at times, brutal. But like a surgeon's scalpel, its purpose isn't cruelty, it's clarity. Power doesn't only exist in boardrooms or politics. It lives in your workplace, in your home, and in every relationship you navigate. Whether you acknowledge it or not, power is always in play. And if you don't understand it, you risk becoming a pawn in someone else's game. Robert Greene doesn't encourage you to manipulate or to become ruthless. He offers you a mirror, one that reflects the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. This book isn't about teaching you how to dominate others. It's about helping you see the invisible strings that often control us, so you can cut them or pull them with intention. And in the end, the real question is not, will you play the game of power? But rather, do you want to be the pawn or the player? If this message resonated with you, and you believe knowledge is the real advantage in life's power plays, hit subscribe to Audiobook Bites. We turn life-changing books into bite-sized insights, helping you learn faster, think deeper, and act smarter. Subscribe now, because your next move deserves to be a powerful one.